Hello, my name is Aurora. I'm 24 years old and I live in Michigan. I'm married and I work in a restaurant for a living for now. I'm currently in school hoping to become an accountant someday. Anyways, I've been struggling with emetophobia since I was basically 6 years old. Emetophobia, if you are new to this, is basically the fear of vomit, of yourself or others vomiting. There's many negative impacts of this on my life. I tend to isolate myself a lot because I'm afraid to go places because I feel like there could be stomach virus germs. I avoid going to restaurants, going to large gatherings of people or public places like airports or hospitals or daycare centers or like public schools or things like that because there could be sick people in large gatherings of things like that. I also avoid small children or eating food handled by other people. Um, Basically, the worst part of my phobia is that it gives me panic attacks a lot, and I generally feel anxiety when it gets really bad, and anxiety can lead to feelings of chronic nausea. Um, Basically, I live in the constant fear of myself getting sick, of vomiting. I'm afraid that I'm going to vomit every day. That it can happen when, like, after I eat, I'll start to feel like normal feelings of digestion, but I'll amplify it in my mind thinking that I'm getting sick or something. Um, I'm also afraid to get pregnant or have kids because of morning sickness, and kids throw up a lot, so that's not good. I also feel like emetophobia is highly misunderstood. Not many people have it. There's not been a lot of research done about it. And when I do open up to others about it, there's sort of like mixed reactions, like, apologize, I'm have this all formatted on a screen as to what I'm going to say because I'm not very good at impromptu speaking. But anyways, my husband, basically, he understands me for the most part, although my phobia can impact a relationship sometimes because I won't want to go with him to see his family if they're sick, or visit his, like, nephews and nieces, because I feel like all of them, like, at any given point, one of them is sick and I don't want to get it. Basically, my husband realizes that emetophobia is making my life difficult and inhibiting my ability to function or live out a normal life. So he understands it, but he doesn't support it. He wants me to get over it, but I just don't know how. I've told my parents about it. Basically, my mother thinks that I'm being ridiculous, that obviously this is irrational thinking, and that I just need to get over it, and that my fear isn't really real, which isn't really that supportive. Like my sister, I tell her about it sometimes. My personal family doesn't live in Michigan. They live, like, in the East Coast, so I don't really see them that often. But I did open up to my sister about it, and, she doesn't understand it, but, she's understanding, if that means anything. And then that leaves the people I work with, the restaurant I work with. Some people understand it because they deal with anxiety issues themselves, but I find oftentimes people like to crack jokes about it or be like, "Oh, Aurora, there's vomit in the bathroom. You better go clean it up." And then I get a panic attack, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" They're like, "No, I'm just joking." And it's just like, "Wow, thanks a lot." But yeah, sometimes people do things like that, or like, I always wash my hands a lot, or people like make fun of me for washing my hands a lot, or anytime I'm like spraying off dishes and then like the dirty dishwasher splashes on my face, I'll like immediately throw everything down and run to the sink and like rinse off my face and then take like alcohol wipes and rub it all over my lips. And I know it's like, I try to be more discreet about it, but it's obvious and apparent to people at work that I'm a little bit on the nutty side. But yeah, it's kind of mixed at work. I know that if I work in a restaurant, I can't be like that because restaurants are generally full of germs. But anyways, also emetophobia alludes to mixed symptoms of OCD, because people with emetophobia, like, or at least me personally, I wash my hands a lot. I disinfect like surfaces a lot. I'm afraid of like certain situations and environments that could lead to me getting sick and vomiting, and I can see why superficially people might think I have OCD, which maybe I do, but it's only linked to this phobia, basically. In terms of the levels of severity with this fear I have, it basically comes in waves. If I haven't been exposed to hearing about anybody getting sick, or if I haven't been exposed to vomit or anything like that, I generally relax a bit, like I'm able to, not wash my hands 50 times a day, maybe more like 5 times a day, I generally act more normal when I'm not exposed to or hear about things about vomit or it being anywhere close to me. But anytime someone close to me gets sick with the stomach flu or with something that relates to vomiting, I basically become a nervous wreck, and I basically, I'm afraid to eat. I wash my hands like a lot to the point they bleed and they're cracked. I have to disinfect everything, afraid that there's like safe areas of my apartment and unsafe areas of my apartment that could have come in contact with the sick person's germs or something, like, I know it's really ridiculous and sounds crazy, but that's just how I react to it. I generally like feel unsafe, like I can't relax, and that I can't focus or function. Basically all my thoughts and all my energy is focused on me trying to avoid these invisible germs that I can't see, and basically when it gets to that point I just want to hide from everything and not do anything, and when it gets to that point I feel like there's basically no escape, and those are the not so happy days with this fear. I also feel like it has a lot of negative consequences on my life. Basically, I fear that one day, and maybe it probably will happen, which terrifies me, I fear that my husband will get sick with stomach flu, and since we live in a tiny one-bedroom apartment, I'm basically inevitably bound to get it, and I don't know what I would do, like, if my husband came down with it, like, what would I do, like, live in a hotel, live in the car, like, I can't afford to, like, go live in a hotel for a week, that's too expensive, and, like, where would I go, what would I do? I'd have to face it, and that terrifies me, but maybe that would be, I don't know, a way to get better, or would it just make it worse? I really honestly don't know. Another negative consequence is I avoid friends and family when they're sick, which makes me appear selfish, which I guess I would be technically being selfish because I put my fear before others, and while I don't like it to be that way, I just feel like I can't help it. I also, back when I was in high school, I wanted to like pursue a career in nursing someday, but obviously that's out of the picture because like a part of being a nurse obviously is dealing with sick people and cleaning like their feces and their urine and their vomit, and I do not think that I could make a living dealing with vomit every single day. That would just drive me over the edge. I also avoid traveling because, like, when you travel places or airports, there's, like, a lot of people from all over the place bringing in, like, different strains of the norovirus, maybe, or different strains of the stomach flu. It just terrifies me. Also, another negative consequence is I'm afraid to have kids. I'm afraid of morning sickness, and I'm afraid of kids, like, vomiting all the time. And while I feel like since I'm 24, my husband's turning 28 soon, like, we're around that age where we should be starting a family, but I'm afraid that's not going to happen because of my fear, and that's just not right. I'm also afraid of, well, last but not least, I'm also afraid of my job. I work as a server in a restaurant, and I'm training to be a shift manager there, and what am I going to do when someone comes to work sick, or if there's, like, some sick customer threw up in a dining room and, like, I have to clean it up. What am I going to do? Just walk out? And I fear that if something like that were to happen, I would just, like, get up and leave and then lose my job. And why? Because I'm afraid, like, feed into my fear like that. It's just not right. I really know that I need to get over this, but I don't know how because unfortunately there's not a lot of research done about this phobia and not a lot of help that's available. And it's quite unfortunate, but hopefully someday there will be more research and help available to people who suffer with emetophobia. But until then, I suppose the IES website, emetophobia.org, is pretty helpful. And maybe posting like personal videos about what you struggle with, such as emetophobia, like on YouTube is, things like that are a step in the direction of people recognizing this and not viewing emetophobia as some ridiculous, like, stupid thing people have and should just simply get over, because it doesn't work that way. We basically have to rewire our brains. How do you do that on your own? You can't. But anyways, that will wrap up my introduction video for today, and thank you for watching, and hope to see you guys next week.